Good morning. We begin with a debate this morning. Joe Barton leaving Congress after 34 years there. His seat now up for grabs. It is part of Arlington and Tarrant County, then stretches south into Ellis and Navarro counties. We've already spent time on the two Republicans in this May 22nd runoff. This morning, the two Democrats are in studio with us. Jana Lynne Sanchez on the right there, a former journalist who also worked in corporate communications, and Ruby Faye Woolridge on the left, a longtime community activist and retired school counselor. And joining the questioning as always is Bud Kennedy of the Star-Telegram. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. Let's start out with some basic questions here. Ruby, this first one's for you. 2 years ago, more people voted, and you got twice the amount of votes that you got this year. Why couldn't you get similar support?
Well, for one thing, 5 people were in the race. Are you talking about the primary?
The primary, yes.
Yes, there were 5 people in the race. When I ran in 2016, there were 3 people in the race. So it would have an effect on the numbers.
Jana, let me ask you too. The Star-Telegram and Dallas Morning News both endorsed Ruby. Star-T suggested that she would be most likely to take a constituent's phone call, and the DMN said that Woolridge has the best grasp on the issues. Why didn't either major daily paper think you were qualified?
I think it's not surprising that somebody who's been in community service and running for office for decades now in this area would get the endorsement of 2 major publications. I think the endorsements that matter are the voice of the voters, and it's very clear that voters selected me at the same rate that they selected Ruby in the primary, and that's because we've been working very hard, door to door, talking to individual voters, and we've raised enough money to get our message out. Our message is resonating with voters, and we have the money and the manpower to get our message out. We walk precincts 5 days a week, and we've raised $250,000, which is 5 times as much as any other candidate has raised in this district in 30 years.
You know, the Democrats are talking about flipping Congress, and they're talking about winning 5 seats in Texas. They're still not talking about this one. They're talking about some of the others. Why are they wrong? Why do you think Democrats do have a chance in this district?
Well, personally, I believe it's because District 6, to most people's surprise, is a minority-majority district. And I don't believe those persons that are doing the counting in Washington are really aware of that. If you look at the demographics, they're changing. If you'll notice that Congressman Barton, before he decided to not run again for re-election, had moved his opinion on DACA into being for it. And the reason is because the numbers are growing in the minority community. So it's great, there's a possibility for it to flip.
Jana, why aren't the 2 of you still getting party support?
I think that the party has so many seats that look easier to win than this. This is an R+9 district, so there is a battle to be won. You have to fight it hard. You've got to get out and talk to voters. You've got to win people who may have voted Republican in the past. You've got to be able to get your message out to voters. That's why the work is very important. The DCCC, or the Democratic Congressional Candidate Committee, is not going to support every candidate who's going to win. They have in the past not supported candidates who have won. So I don't think we can count on that not being support as an indication that this district is not winnable. Look around the country. Look at swings of 20 points in many districts, much redder than this.
And I want to remind you, Bud, on this very channel, you said you believe that this district is going to turn blue in November.
I did.
He did say that, indeed. You watched, so thank you very much for that,
I watched the show, yes.
Let me ask you, you know, this was a razor sharp primary finish. You won by, or you were ahead rather, by 19 votes. How can you overcome this, you know, huge challenge you have here?
Well, for one thing, I picked up support that was maybe split during the primary, so people that are formerly supporting other candidates are now coming on my team and supporting me.
Who did you reach out to?
I reached out to all 3 of the other candidates in the race, and 2 of them have come on board to support me. So, matter of fact, one of the supporters, volunteers, are here with me today.
Jana, you were just behind by 19 votes. How do you get over that hump?
So we're continuing to do what we've done this entire campaign. We're walking precincts, we're identifying our voters, we're making sure they get out. We cannot rely necessarily on the establishment insiders of this district. We are instead talking directly to voters with whom our message is resonating. We will continue to work hard like we have been, and that will get us where we need to be.
You mentioned establishment, and in a lot of ways this race reflects the divide of the Democratic Party between established Democrats who've been in the party, been candidates involved a long time, or movement Democrats, progressives. How do you all view this split, and how's it playing in your race?
Well, in my race, I have legislative elected officials supporting me because they know of my work and they know what is required of a person in Congress. Like Chris Turner from District 101 is one of my endorsers, as well as Eddie Bernice Johnson, Congressman John Lewis, Congressman Al Green, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, former Mayor Elsie Odom. The list goes on because they know of what I can bring to the table. You don't have to do on-the-job training. I'm already ready.
Jana, you have some new people involved, and why are progressives more important?
So I don't necessarily say I'm just a progressive. I'm somebody who represents the average person in our district, and I don't think this is an ideological divide. I think it's a matter of voters want something new, they want change. I have not run for office 7 times before. This is my first time running for anything, so it's not surprising that I wouldn't have the endorsement of elected officials. However, I do have the endorsement of the Texas AFL-CIO, which I'm very proud of, because Better Jobs is a huge part of my platform. I also have the support of your former colleague, Gloria Campos.
And I want to add this. I have the endorsement of the Dallas Morning News and the Star Telegram.
Yeah, we don't want to get into all the endorsements.
We can go on quite a while. It's extensive. I've got 800 regular citizens that are backing me as well.
Jana, let me ask you too. I read that you oppose the high-speed rail project. What's the problem?
So as the high-speed rail is now devised, it does nothing for the residents of Ellis and Navarro County. Could it, if it were to be reconstructed a little bit, and
what would you like to see?
I'd like to see the 45 right-of-way used as the path instead of the new path that they've
which is the utility corridor.
Yes, exactly. That's already exists, so you don't have to take people's land away. And I also would like to see a stop there in the southern part of the district, so that people who might be in our district going to Houston could get on. I want to make sure that that good union jobs are created for people in our district.
Final word on this topic here, Ruby.
Well, I am in favor of looking at the possibility for high-speed rail because we have such a transportation problem in North Texas. You've been in gridlock, and it happens regardless of what road you're on. And also, I've been meeting with the citizens from Ellis County and from Navarro that will be affected by this. And I believe that there is a coming together. It's just going to take a while. I've spoken with the persons who are a part of the high-speed rail project, and I've spoken with families. And they just need to talk a little longer and be a little more patient, and we're going to get there.
All right. Ruby Faye Woolridge and Jana Lynne Sanchez, 2 Democrats running in the May 22nd runoff. Good luck to both of you.